Triads are a game changer for rhythm guitar and lead guitar. I'm going to break down exactly what they are and how to learn them so you can add this secret weapon to your rhythm guitar game. I'm Jake, and for the past 16 years, I've been teaching the coolest people on the internet how to play guitar. By the end of this video, you'll know what a triad is, where and how you can play some, and how to apply them to songs. First, we need to know what a triad is. Tri means three, and a triad has 3 notes. And that means a triad has 3 distinct notes. Sometimes we'll play a triad, but we can play multiples of the same notes. In fact, if we just play most of our open chords, like this D, that's technically a triad. It only has 3 distinct notes. You might think, hey, but we're playing 4 strings. But if we name each note, D, A, D, F sharp, you'll notice we have 2 Ds. And so it's actually a triad because we only have 3 notes, D, F sharp, and A. Now, usually when we talk about triads and we're referring to the guitar, somebody says they're learning triads or working on triads or anything like that, they mean playing very specific 3-note voicings, which we're about to dive into now. There are 4 kinds of triads: major triads, minor triads, diminished triads, and augmented triads. But major and minor are going to be absolutely our most common, followed by diminished, which is rarely used, but important, and augmented triads come up even less. So if we know our major and minor triads, we're going to get a whole lot of mileage out of these little 3-note chords. If you started working on triads, I'd love to hear where you like to play them. If you prefer string set 1, 2, and 3, or you like string set 2, 3, and 4, or somewhere else, let me know in the comments. My favorite shapes are on strings 2, 3, and 4, so that's what I'm going to teach today. So in order to play our major triad, what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to put our middle finger on any fret on the 2nd string, but here I'm going to be playing a D major triad. So I'm going to put my finger on 3rd fret of the 2nd string, index finger on 2nd fret of the 3rd string, ring finger on 4th fret of the 4th string. Those notes are F sharp, A, and D. So this is a D major triad. We're actually naming it by the note that our middle finger is playing on the 2nd string. It's a D major triad. Now, in order to make this triad a minor triad, what we need to do is we need to switch our middle finger to the 4th string, and our ring finger needs to replace our middle finger. So what we're trying to do is lower this 4th fret down to 3rd fret to get a minor triad. And again, this is a D minor triad. This note on the 2nd string is how we name that chord. So if I move this, say, up, let's go all the way to where my middle finger's on fret 8, but I play the same shape, this note here is a G, so that's a G major triad or a G minor triad. So sticking with this theme of D, I want to show you another place we can play a D major triad. And that's simply by barring the notes across the 7th fret on strings 4, 3, and 2. Those notes are A, D, and F sharp, meaning our 3rd string is now how we're naming this triad. This is a D major triad. Now, in order to make it minor, we want to lower the note that's on the 2nd string by 1 fret, so going from 7th to 6th. So I'm using middle finger on 7th of the 4th, ring finger on 7th of the 3rd, index finger on 6th fret of the 2nd string, and that is a D minor triad. Again, 3rd string, 7th fret is where I'm getting that name. So D major and D minor. Now I have one more place that we can play major and minor triads on string set 2, 3, 4. We're going to stay in the key of D, and I'm going to play at the 12th fret on the 4th string, 11th on the 3rd, and 10th on the 2nd. This is another D major triad. This one is D, F sharp, and then A, so we're naming it on the 4th string. Hopefully you noticed our first shape, we use the 2nd string to name the chord D major. We use the 3rd string to name this shape here, and now we're using the 4th string. So where we're playing the note D has moved in each triad, which gives each of these its distinctive and unique sound. So again, we've got 12, 11, 10 to play this D major triad, root note on the 4th string. To make it minor, we want to take our 3rd string and we just want to lower it by 1 fret. I'm going to do that by barring my index finger just on strings 2 and strings 3 at the 10th fret. That's our D minor chord. If you've been getting anything out of this video, I want to take a second and invite you to my course and community at school.com/guitargympro. It's a lot like this, only you can ask me questions directly and I can give you feedback directly on your technique and your playing and everything that you're working on. Let's take a chord progression for a song. I'm going to use the chord progression from Wagon Wheel because I'm just thinking about it right now. And we are going to play the chords A, E, F sharp minor, and D. A, E, F sharp minor, and D. So I'm going to start right around 5th fret because I feel like that's as good a place to start as any. And what I can do is, knowing that I've got 7th fret on the 4th string is the note A, I can go ahead and make this triad shape here for my A. Now, instead of sliding this around until I find an E, what I want to do is I want to find an E really close to where I am right here for when I change to the E chord. So I've got my A here. Where might I find an E? Well, I know that 5th fret on the B string, the 2nd string, is the note E. So I can go ahead and play this shape triad here, right, with my root note on the 2nd string. So A, E. We already know that there's a D right here barred across 7th fret from going over it earlier. And then we just got to figure out where we're going to play F sharp. If we remember, we have the note F sharp in our D chord. This is A, D, and then F sharp. So if we take our shape that uses 2nd string for the root note, F sharp major would look like this, but we want F sharp minor, so remember we want to lower this note by 1 fret. And so just using triads to play Wagon Wheel, we can play A, E, F sharp minor, D. If you're having trouble making any of these triad shapes, this video is an amazing exercise for getting your brain and your fingers to connect with each other.